One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful, by Sigmund Freud. Good morning, Savannah, and thank you for joining us this Wednesday morning, on the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm Taraz, your host, and as always, I have a very tremendous guest in the studio with me. Well, I guess technically we're not in the studio. We're at his office. This is after hours. He's been working all day, still hanging in there with me after hours. Here it's about 7 o'clock. But he's still in here strong. So without further ado, I'll let you introduce yourself, Jason Gaines.
Hey everybody, my name is Jason Gaines. Yes, I am here after hours, working hard every day. I'm 29 years old, first time business owner, entrepreneur. Basically, I started from the bottom, worked my way up, to the top, and I'm still working my way up. I'm not even at the top. I'm not even halfway there. So, but honestly, hard work, it definitely pays off. I'm just here. I'm working. I'm doing it every day.
Yeah. Don't sell yourself short yet, man. I'm here for a reason. Because like you own this business. You have your own storefront. You've been in business for a year, right? So tell people a little bit about iRepair Savannah.
All right, iRepair Savannah is a franchise that I own this store here in Richmond Hill, Georgia. Basically, I'll give you the background of where I came from to get to this. So originally I'm from California, and yeah, I know it's a far away from Georgia, but I went to school in California for computer engineering, and actually, at some point in my life, I decided I wanted to join the military. I did that. I joined in 2013. At some point during my enlistment, I ended up getting injured. So I got out just based off of the injury that I had. I was a tanker, so I couldn't really do the job anymore for what my duties expected me to do. Mm-hmm. So once I got out, I decided, at that point, trying to figure out pretty much what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. Looked at my background. Previously in California, I used to be a human resource for LA County. So then I went ahead and I was going to assume a position in human resources.
Okay.
Honestly, in Georgia, comparing to California, that doesn't add up the same way because everyone tells you that you are more qualified than what they're expecting you to be. So,
gotcha.
However, that happened, but it actually worked out in my favor because while I was still in the military, I went here to in Georgia. I went to school at South University.
Okay.
Went for my business bachelor's degree, and basically, I put two and two together. I used my computer engineering and business together, and I started here with iRepair Savannah. Basically, what we do is we repair cell phones, we repair computers, tablets, iPads, all that. And to be honest, I like to work more on the computer side, but I also do cell phones. It's the same thing. It's just smaller electronics. So, mm-hmm. But honestly, getting here, harder than you'd expect it to be, saying I want to own my own business and not work for somebody else. But honestly, being an entrepreneur, I work more here than I've worked anywhere else. I put more time in doing this job than I would say I'd work anywhere else. Overtime, I don't get paid for overtime. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You just here.
Yeah.
Grinding every day.
So what made you want to start a business? Like it's a whole bunch of things you could have did outside of HR. Like why'd you decide to start a business?
It fell into my lap.
Okay.
So originally, my wife worked for iRepair Savannah, which is one of the actual main store that we have in downtown Savannah.
Okay.
Off of Bull Street.
Yep, I've seen it.
So my wife worked there originally. She was the regional manager for that location and the other 3 locations. And while I was still in the military at the time and I was going to school, she introduced me to the owner. And we got talking one day about, pretty much everything, the company and all that. And actually, we weren't even speaking on me owning the business. Actually, we were speaking on his contacts that he knew that he could introduce me to in other fields. And then I actually went to her job one day, and I was there watching him. I was like, I could help you with a computer that he had in his back office that he couldn't figure out. And he's like, you know how to fix this? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's what I went to school for. Yeah. So, I took it apart. I fixed it. And he was like, well, that was easy for you, huh? I was like, it was pretty, that's what I was like. It's normal for me. I take this apart and put it back together, no problem. And eventually he actually was just like, so I have an idea to open up another location. Would you like to run it? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I've been looking for a job. I'm about to get out of the military. I was looking for a job originally. So, I mean, yeah, I'll run the store. So originally I actually came to this store and actually did all the work myself. So the painting in here, the floorboards, put the floor down. I actually did everything in here on my own.
Okay, wow.
So
a real entrepreneur.
It felt like, originally, and I wasn't even the owner. It was like, it was going to be my store to run. So I felt like,
you should still take some ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then a couple months, I think it was about, not even a couple months. We opened this store April 11th, 2016. A month and a half later, he asked me if I wanted to just become a franchise owner because he already owned 3 other locations. And he wanted me to take over this store. So, yeah, I agreed to it.
Nice.
So, basically, like I said, it fell into my lap. It just so happens that I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like something that just came across one day I wanted to be a business owner, but it was really just, it really fell into my lap.
Yeah.
So, since that happened, now I'm learning still day by day, business owner techniques and all that. Actually going to school for business, it does not teach you.
Right. Right.
When you own your own business, you will learn right away very fast that is some things may apply.
Yeah.
Not everything. Taxes and all that is a completely different situation in real life.
Yeah.
This is not a book.
Yeah. I mean, you say it fell into your lap, but I mean, you still like took advantage of the opportunity you had.
Definitely.
Like a lot of people get opportunities, but they don't take advantage of it, or they kind of don't put enough work in. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is, my wife actually, we were talking about it. When he offered it, and me and my wife sat down and we talked about it, and she was scared. She was like, I don't think we should do it.
Yeah.
We're not ready. We've never owned a business before. And to be honest with you, I was like, well, if you don't take a risk, then you will never actually succeed without taking the risk to try. Error, it has to happen. Like you have to do trial and error. And I mean, that's what we're doing. It's been 1 year, and honestly, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. So
yeah. Why do you say that?
Well, even though I have to be to work every day, and it's one of those, seriously, every day that you're open, you need to be here and on time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, it's a situation that you just put yourself in that's like, why is it the best decision? Because put it this way, if I were working for someone else, I have to ask for certain things. I have to do certain things someone else's way. By me owning this business, I will dictate everything. How I order, when I order products, at what price point, even though it's a franchise, so I still have to, talk to the other owners and make sure that price points are good on their end as well, so we're not bumping heads and
Right.
competing with each other. But I still make that decision based off of, other competitors,
Gotcha.
what the market's asking for. And it's a life lesson that you learn doing this, because at the end of the day, you really can't get this experience anywhere else.
It's true.
Like I said, there's no internship to own a business.
No.
I couldn't, even in school, you cannot go and intern to, let me watch your day-to-day operations of an owner
Right.
aspect. And it's literally a trial and error. I mean, I've seen plenty of other businesses that you see open and it's closed down a couple months later or 6 months later, and it's not always because of they failed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of either the market or location. It could be anything. Right. Customers just and it's quality, honestly, and that's what I personally put into this business every day. Customer service and quality is the biggest thing for me. The reason why is because there's other companies out here who repair cell phones, iPhones, Galaxies, all that. The difference is these other companies will rather sell you a inexpensive screen or part for your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then not offer you a warranty on that part that they replaced.
Gotcha.
So the issue with that to me is the fact that these customers who are going to come back to you after you repair something, you want longevity. You want that customer service and that relationship between them, because that person tells one person and somebody else tells another person, and that's how you gain that business. That's exactly how we're doing it here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I see it as quality comes first, because I can purchase a million different parts and they can all come from China or somewhere else, but if it's not quality parts, then there's really no reason for me to offer a warranty, because I know it's going to fail and the customer is going to react to that failure, and it's going to be a bad reaction.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'd rather offer the best quality that I can,
Mm-hmm.
and try to price it somewhere in a good, decent range, because the other competitors out here that are doing the same thing have more than likely either roughly the same price or a lower price point than I do. And it's hard to compete, but that's why I always ask people, are you looking for quality, or are you looking for just getting something done so you can get through today? Because if you're not looking about, a month from now, then a month from now, that exact same part that I repaired could go out if you're just looking at cheap.
That's true.
So, and a lot of people are actually, it sometimes it's hard times. You're just looking like, I just need to get this fixed, because cell phones are lifelines right now. It's that time, it's that day and age where literally cell phones are lifelines. So
Mm-hmm.
without it, I've seen people come in here and I need this done now. I don't care how it happens. And I'm like, I can get it done right now in 10 minutes. But, at the end of the day, it's like, you want to pay for original screen, or you want to pay for, some off-brand whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
you get the customers who want the off-brand, but I'd rather offer authenticity and quality. That's just, and at the end of the day, I got good reviews being here in Richmond Hill. I have so many different customers that have come in and could have swore up and down that they didn't even know that the phone could be repaired, because they've gone to like a Verizon store or somewhere else where they actually only sell phones. They don't fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And these places will day after day tell you, no, it can't be replaced. Your phone's broken. You just need a new phone. And it's like walking into a car dealership.
Yeah, they're ruthless, man. They're ruthless.
They will come up to you. Oh, you got a scratch? No, you need a whole new phone now. and the price of these phones nowadays are way too expensive.
Yeah.
Way too expensive to just throw it away and be like, I need another one. So at the price point to repair compared to buying a new one, this is why we're in business.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree. I definitely agree with that, and I understand because that's how we met.
Yeah.
You know, my phone was broken. I was like, hey, are you the owner? Could I interview you? Because I do like the way you have it, you set up. I can tell that customer support is something you guys are focusing on, and I appreciate that. So even though you couldn't fix my phone,
Yeah.
mine was destroyed.
It really was. There are some phones that just cannot be. I have seen all of the above.
Yeah.
Water damage. Usually, it's a 50-50 shot with water damage phones. It's a 50-50 shot at the end of the day. But there's other ones where people leave it on the back of their on the top of their car roof.
Oh man.
Drive off and it gets ran over. I've seen those.
Yeah.
I had a tank run over a military phone.
Okay. And he tried to get it fixed.
I actually fixed it. It needed like all new parts, but I got it fixed. But it's a ton of different scenarios. But the biggest thing that we're doing right now compared to other businesses is it's hard to get the market out there and get people to join in with it. But like I said, computers is what I love doing. Computers are my go-to because that is where I started. So I also do IT for other businesses, large businesses, small businesses, but I do IT work for other businesses. So we have like a contract with Remax, which is down the road here in Richmond Hill.
Yep.
And basically, anytime their computers in their office goes out, and I'll be there to support and help and repair whatever. But
Great idea.
We're trying to get that market pushed out to more businesses here and even further out. I mean, basically, I would love to succeed a lot larger than what I am instead of having just this one store expand, obviously. But it really takes more of the community than just the select few that actually see us and know us. Then and it's going to take time. Honestly, it's going to take time. So I'm starting small, basically just letting the individuals know that, hey, we do house calls as well. And we also do business calls for IT. And then we also set it up to where you can do, pay monthly for us to come out and actually secure your network to make sure everything is taken care of every month.
Okay, so it's just so you do have a co-owner, your wife.
Yes.
So outside of you two, like how are you gonna like handle that when you have to be in the office every day?
See, that's exactly why I actually have there's actually a secondary portion of that for this business. So I have other people that we used to have employees here in this store, in this location. And we actually pushed those employees out to the other stores. So even though this is a franchise and I own this one specifically, we have employees that work at the other locations.
Okay.
Which we generally, if we need any kind of assistance here at this store, then we just pick somebody up from another location and bring them here.
Gotcha.
Or vice versa, or whatever the case may be. And as far as the IT work is concerned, I personally like to go out and set up first, me in general, just so that you get to meet me, the owner, and then also so that I can make sure I know exactly what your needs are. And if it's at a time where you need emergency, our computers crash and we need somebody out there and I'm unavailable, then I can send somebody else out to do it that is qualified and then can do the exact same job that I could. But at least I know exactly what type of clientele I'm dealing with.
Okay.
So what their expectations are, what kind of computers or whatever they have, what they will need.
Got you. So how are you going to market these other services?
Honestly, we've been doing promotional like cards. I ordered a bunch of promotional cards and
Okay.
handed out to businesses. I actually went door to door
Okay.
and handed out
All right.
shaking hands, kissing babies type of thing. You know? And honestly, I've met so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that own. I've met the owners of these different businesses and taking them out for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
dinner, just to get to know them, their company, and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that honestly works here. To broaden that, it takes a lot more. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
internet. I mean, we do have Google Plus and our Google page, so that we do our promotions on there as well.
Okay. Why Google?
Facebook.
Why Google?
Honestly,
Just like search results, searching
It
SEO
is-
and stuff.
it's probably the biggest company for that. Basically, if you pay into Google for your AdWords,
Mhm.
it actually gives you a network of different providers as well. So it doesn't just give you Google; it actually does Yahoo, Bing,
Okay.
and all that. But
Got you.
you only have to pay one company, because if you pay Bing, it's actually you're paying Bing.
Yeah.
So Google does it to where it actually distributes to everyone instead of just that one. And though you pay Google, you're still paying, and they have to pay the other companies.
Okay.
But it's quite expensive. Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand. I'm not.
Yeah. No,
not knocking it. I'm just.
it is
asking.
quite expensive, but
Yeah.
it actually
You know, I'm sorry. You said Google Plus.
Google Plus is
And-
Google Plus is like Facebook. So
Right.
So
But I know nobody uses it.
no one ever uses this.
That's why I'm asking you,
But-
like, why Google Plus? Yeah.
But Google Plus reviews, it's kind of like Yelp.
Okay.
So Yelp reviews if you Yelp somebody, you'll see all these reviews. But
Mhm.
if you even Google, most people say Google it.
Yeah.
It's a brand. It's
Yeah.
Google it. So if you Google iRepair Savannah, all of our locations will come up. But also, our reviews will pop up as well. And the reviews go to Google Plus.
Gotcha.
So in order to
Gotcha.
even get the reviews, you have to have a Google Plus page.
Okay. That makes
Now, how that works is the higher the ratings of your reviews, the higher the ratings that you will populate on somebody's screen. So
Okay.
basically, if you were to Google phone repair
sense. Mm-hmm.
and my stars are at 5,
Yeah.
then
And that's
I
exactly
will
what I did.
populate, and I will populate at the first page, rather than if my reviews are terrible,
Mm-hmm.
you probably will. No one, it's factual.
Yeah.
No one ever really clicks at the bottom of the Google page
Right.
to the next page.
That's true.
Like when
That's true.
when you Google something, if it's not on the first page, you usually will Google another way to try to find what you're looking for.
That's true.
But
That's really true. Yeah. Okay.
hardly anyone ever really clicks to the next page. So the goal is get on the first page.
Okay.
And there's two ways: either pay more money to Google,
Mhm.
or get better reviews.
Okay. All right. And that makes a lot of sense because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I did. Okay. Next question. I guess let's take a step back for a minute before we go to break. So tell me about, I guess like what brought you from California to Savannah?
Well, the military brought me. The military definitely brought me. 2013, I joined, and it took me from California. And prior to me actually staying in Georgia, I was stationed here at Fort Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
So I got stuck at Fort Stewart. They wouldn't let me leave. I tried. I was stuck. But prior to me actually staying here, I was actually going to go back to California. So we had the plan. We had the trip. We were packed up, ready to go. And I'll be honest, I bought my first home in California at the age of 22.
Okay.
So I kind of started early with trying to, do grown man things and
Mm-hmm.
and get my life on the right, path.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought my house at 22, and at the time in California, it was in Riverside, California. So at the time, that house was about $150,000. 3-bedroom house, upstairs, downstairs, pool and jacuzzi, nice
Oh,
backyard.
nice. Okay.
It was nice.
Yeah.
But see, Riverside at the time wasn't overpopulated like Los
Gotcha.
Angeles.
Okay.
So basically, bought that house and lived in that house for almost 5 years or so. When I joined the military, I kept the house and I was renting it out. The issue was that the tenants wanted to leave. So after that, since I wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really do two things at once. And the market for the housing to rent compared to paying another basically a management place, a company.
Mm-hmm. Property management. Yeah.
So it didn't add up to where it was going to be profitable for me to keep paying the mortgage, pay the company, and if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
have
Have
to
fun.
pay,
Have funds for
you know.
that. Yeah.
So I went ahead and sold it. So again, bought the house at $150,000. Thought I did a good thing with, I sold it at about $260,000.
Okay. Nice.
I was
yeah.
like, not bad, happy with that.
That's not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah, well, today's date, that same house is like $460,000.
Ooh.
So I'm
man.
I'm kind of crying inside when I think about it. I go, I should have just held on to it.
Oh man.
But
But it could have been worse. You know,
Yeah.
you never know. You
Yeah.
can't tell the future.
exactly.
You know.
But yeah, so now when I think about it, and we were actually planning to go back, there was like three major factors of this.
Mhm.
It was the very first is price point for houses.
Yeah.
I am at 22 owning your own house. You kind of get used to owning your own house, paying rent and all that. So I was like, no, I don't want to pay rent. I want to own a house again. Well, I went there, looked and searched. Yeah, no. Yeah, if that house that I had previously bought was now at 460,
Yeah.
everything surrounding it is even more.
Wow.
And in California, it's compared to out here, the houses you would get out here
Mm-hmm.
for a really good and decent price, if that same house was in California, it triples, quadruples.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And the only way to stay out of that price point is to move somewhere where no one else lives and no one else wants to live.
Right, for a reason. Yeah.
And it's like,
I understand.
in order to have a job or business or anything in California, it's like you're competing with the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's overpopulated.
Yeah.
And where I lived in Riverside, I used to work in Los Angeles. Easily an hour and 20 minutes away on the freeway,
Mm-hmm.
one way, every day.
Mm.
And
Yeah, that adds up to another part-time job.
Well,
you know what I mean? Those 2 hours on the road, 2.5.
it's not that. The traffic has increased now
Oh, wow.
since I've been there. So you're talking about 2.5, 3 hours trying to get to and from.
One way. Oh, man, that's crazy.
And it's pretty bad. So traffic will be number two.
Yeah.
And a lot of people here, and I see a ton of people here say, "Oh, I'm not going down there because there's so much traffic." I go, "That's not traffic.
No, yeah.
That's not traffic."
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, we
I've seen some traffic.
yeah, I'm with you. We moved here a year ago almost now from the Chicago area.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the home prices because we lived in right outside of Naperville, Illinois. And it's a big suburb,
Mm-hmm.
and it's extremely expensive to live there. But they have the best schools, so you want to be somewhere for the kids.
Exactly.
And then Chicago has some pretty bad traffic too. So I definitely understand that.
Well, my number 3 is I have 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is 1. My son is 3. So he will start school next year.
Okay.
And where I grew up in Los Angeles, it's not where I want to raise my kids. Only,
Mm-hmm.
not say, I love Los Angeles. I love California, but the reality of that is it'll make or break you real fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just too much out there. Me being, a parent now from when I was growing up, I can only imagine what my parents would think, like exactly why I couldn't go outside
Right. Yeah.
at a certain time or, anything. So
be back home when the street
now,
lights on.
Yeah. So now I'm like, yeah, no, they can't go. You can't even visit. Yeah.
I once again, I'm with you, man. We're connecting right here. I'm with you. I grew up in a small southern town called Statesville, North Carolina. It's about 30 minutes north of Charlotte. But I grew up in like the worst neighborhood of this small town. And when I go home, like there are drive-bys, like there are shootings. You know what I'm saying? Like right outside the window. You know what I mean? It's just it's terrible. And anyway, so to go back from that, like you do have kids. A little bit ago, you mentioned that there's no like internship for people who want to start their own business. Mm-hmm. But now that you're a business owner, you can teach your own kids and make a better,
Correct.
you know what I mean? Give them a better chance at knowing what to do when they do start their own business.
Trust me, I can't wait. I can't wait because honestly, that is the next step.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm actually putting in place another business. So this is my first business that I've ever actually owned. Mm-hmm. But currently, I am in the process of creating another business, and that won't be a nonprofit, and just doing something that I've always wanted to do. And actually, to be honest with you, I've already started the process on this one. It's actually 10 times harder to do a nonprofit than it is a profit. And
okay.
More expensive.
Okay. We're going to take a break. We're going to leave the people in suspense. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about your nonprofit right when we come back. All right. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, Savannah, welcome back. I'm here again with Jason Gaines, owner of iRepair Savannah here in Richmond Hill. We are going to do the lightning round in just a second, but first I want to get a little bit of information on this nonprofit he has. So, Jason, just tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and what you're hoping to achieve with it.
All right. Well, the nonprofit organization the name of this is Veterans Promise. And basically, it is a promise that I want to keep as a veteran to not just veterans, but to military families, militaries that are still in, veterans, and actually we're going to be honoring, the fallen soldiers as well. So basically, ultimately, this organization is going to be traveling either every other month or so to different bases. It's not just Army. This is Marines, Navy, Coast Guard. It doesn't matter. We're just traveling to the bases themselves, and we're going to be giving back. So food, gift cards, supplies, we'll be shipping out all different types of supplies for the men and women that are deployed. And every quarter, we're going to be honoring one person. And it's not somebody that we choose. It's somebody that our, donators or anyone that just reaches out to us saying that an individual, they would like to honor them. So what we'll do is basically go out to this person's home or business or something like that where the family and friends can gather around. We'll do a live video with them and basically hand them anything, of our choosing that we want to do. And at the very least, one of the things that we will be doing is getting a handmade engraved, and more than likely it'll be a ring with their rank, last unit that they were in, or the unit that they're being honored for. And if it's like something that happened during an actual deployment, it will have, one of their medals that they had on there. But basically, we're just going to be putting together special things for that one person every quarter, and hopefully with the donations that we receive and the sponsorships that we receive, we will be able to help them out monetarily. So just everything that we could. And that's one of the things that I honestly want to do, because me being in the military, it's one of those situations where you experience something completely different. It's brotherhood. It's they're not just, everybody's like, it's a brotherhood, but when you meet someone in the military, they instantly become friend, family, and you instantly want to try to help and take care of them. Not only that, but I meet people that are veterans, that have been in, and we don't know each other from anywhere, but we still talk and treat each other just like we were in together. Gotcha. And it's always, and honestly, I just want to help out. And there's companies out there that do it. The main focus of this company is to help out the individuals and not myself. So that's the big focus. There's companies, nonprofit organizations, all these companies that you will see, and if you actually do your research on them, you'll actually notice that a lot of the money that they receive and donations and all this other gifts and givings that they actually receive, it doesn't go to what they're actually promoting. And a lot of that money goes into CEOs' pockets and all these bonuses and things like that. And I've done the research, I've looked at it. It's not all there, but there are a lot of them that are out there that are nonprofit, and they take the money for themselves. Of course, doing the job and running the business, you have to pay yourself something, but it shouldn't be the majority of the money going to you, because the business that you are promoting and doing, it should actually go to that. And that's pretty much what it's about. Is giving back. So
awesome. And
hopefully that takes off soon. But
yeah,
like I said, it is hard.
Yeah, I bet it is, and that says a lot about like who you are as a person too. Your character to give back. Like you're new to business. I don't know how much money you have, but you're new to business, but you still want to reach back and give back before you even fully where you want to be in the business. With the year end. So that says a lot about you, and I appreciate that. I'm not really. I have a cousin who's a drill sergeant up at Fort Stewart, but outside of that, I don't have any kind of relation myself to the military. I wasn't in, which is weird, being in Richmond Hill and the Savannah, not having any kind of relation to the military. But that says a lot about you, and I appreciate that. So I wish you the best with it. Definitely. If there's anything I can do, let me know, and I'll shout out. I'll have you back on the show when you get it up and running.
Yeah,
that'll work. So that said, let's go into the lightning round. With the lightning round, you can have an answer as long or as short as you want to. The questions will be short and to the point, but it's just to get to know you a little bit better. We have about 20 minutes. Let's see how fast we can get most of this in. All right, so first question. Who influenced you early in life, and who's your mentor now?
All right, so the truth about that would be my mom influenced me, because every day I have two other sisters, and honestly, my mom was working like 3 jobs to make sure that we had everything. And the reality of that is, and actually she was going to school and working at the same time, and she is a nurse. So it was I know it was long days, long nights, and she was always actually there to cook and make sure we had everything. So she definitely influenced me. And now, to be real honest with you, I actually have not one person that I look up to right now. And that's just me being honest because
Not Donald Trump.
uh,
I'm just joking. We're not gonna get to that. I'm sorry.
no, I ain't against him. Hey, businessman that. Hey, but see,
I'm sorry, man.
But
Continue.
no one handed me $1 million, okay, to start off with nothing. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna.
No,
I'm
you're
not gonna
good.
let you lose
You're
any
good.
customers talking about
You're
Trump.
good.
All right. So, yeah.
But no, I don't have a single person that I look up to daily or anything like that. To be honest with you, just I look up to life, and that may sound weird, but I look up to the grind every single day. I basically try to be better than I was yesterday every day.
I like that.
So that would be my answer.
Advice for new entrepreneurs.
Never give up, honestly. New entrepreneurs, just never give up, and do not sell yourself short, because if you think about it and want to do it, then it is very possible. And even if it's something new, even if it's something brand new that you think that no one would like, do it, honestly, because it is it's in you and it's in everyone. It is. Even for myself, I could say I believed in myself that I could do it, but there were some days that I was like, I don't know if this is actually going to work out. But it is a trial and error, and if you fail, try again. Because I'll be honest with you, you mentioned Trump. This man has failed at plenty of things, and he is still on top.
That's true.
And it's serious, because in being an entrepreneur or trying to become an entrepreneur or owner, you're gonna start from the bottom. Yeah. And when you start from the bottom, no one knows you, and no one trusts you. Yeah. And you're trying to gain trust. But I'll tell you one thing that I've learned over this time period is that honesty will get you where you want to be, and it will definitely bring in more people, because if you actually take the time, speak to people, be honest with them, they will keep coming back and send other people.
That's true. Very true. So you have kids. Being an entrepreneurial parent, what are you going to teach your children about entrepreneurship?
Work hard. Basically, just I'm going to teach them that it doesn't matter what time it is. Every day, at any given time, you are going to have to put in a lot of work. And to be successful, it's going to take a lot more than just basic knowledge of school. So what I'm actually going to teach them is hands-on at an early age. Like I said, and we talked about that earlier. Since there isn't an internship for it, I'm basically going to do an internship for my children. Right. And this may not be their passion, but this could be a guideline for them to actually learn what it is that you need to do in order to get to where you need to be.
What have you had to sacrifice in order to start your business?
Sleep. Oh yeah, tons of sleep.
How did you get your startup capital?
Startup capital is basically I worked hard before I was here. So before the military, I worked hard. I was human resources, and I was human resources for LA County, and I worked hard then. I joined the military. I worked hard then, and I'm still working hard now. But I made smart decisions during that time where I was able to put money aside and save money, and and I'm not about being extremely flashy. I mean, it's really, if you and here's something that I've learned: if you actually look and act a certain way, meaning if you look and act broke, then you actually can keep money. Because actually, you heard this come from my wife earlier today when she was in here. Yeah. She said I was very cheap. And this is true. Yeah. And this is really true. I am extremely cheap when it comes to myself, because I am not all that flashy. I don't have like the nicest things and everything like that. But when it comes down to business decisions and actually living life, that's where you're actually going to need that money to come in play. So capital actually came from me saving, working hard, and not to mention I did get I'm disabled from the military, so they gave me somewhat of a lump sum. They took most of it back from tax, but I got a little bit, so that helped out a little bit too.
I understand. What was the hardest thing you've ever done?
Hardest thing I've ever done was leave my family for the military. That will break you right there, because every day you sit and think about them, and you can't do anything about it. Yeah. So yeah, leaving my family, because honestly, I'd want to be with them every single day, all the time, but it's a grind. So
it's definitely a grind.
I'm doing it for them,
What do you miss most about being a kid?
No bills. No bills. Actually, one other thing I miss is not being afraid to get injured. Because as a kid, I was skateboarding and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I wasn't afraid to get hurt.
Right.
Now I'm like, I'm not jumping off of nothing, and I'm not gonna do anything.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I bought a skateboard when I was in college, but I never bought a helmet or elbow pads, because I knew I was just gonna be coasting. Like, what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna jump off no stairs.
I'm not doing nothing like that.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
You're gonna laugh, but I actually enjoy The Coldest Winter Ever.
Okay. I've never heard of it.
The book is actually by Sister Soldier.
Okay.
But she made plenty of books, but The Coldest Winter Ever is my favorite book. She is my favorite author.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check her out.
It's just a little snippet of it. It's like about a few different characters in the book, but it's just about like a kid that grows up in New York in a hard place, and basically struggling to make it.
Gotcha.
And it's really good. You should read it, actually.
Okay, I will. So as a concept of the 80-20 principle, I asked all the guests this: 20% of your actions equal 80% of your results. So in iRepair Savannah, like, what are the 20% of your actions that are getting you guys the most results?
Customer service, honesty, and customer service. Honestly, just I can promote, and you can see it online all day. But if I had a different attitude than what I do have, a lot of people will be leaving.
That's true.
So customer service will be it.
Do you feel that your business is your life's calling?
it actually is. This is actually what I love to do. Outside of this, me starting up the other business is what I love to do, help people. So these two things combined, this is where I am.
Good place.
I'm done.
Is there a quote that has always been a mantra that you live life by?
There is one quote that basically it's and I couldn't even tell you where it originated from, but the quote is, if you stay ready, you will never have to get ready. So I pretty much stay ready all the time.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert, and why?
Extrovert, because I actually went to this little it was a husband and wife getaway, and it was done in the military, and we had these questions, and you have to answer them, and it's like this little board, and it tells you whether or not you're like people's person, angry, or if you're red, green, orange.
Yeah.
I'm an orange, which means that I enjoy people, and it's true. If I could every day, I'd rather be around people. My wife is completely opposite, so we get along perfectly fine because I'm the life of the party. She is the organizer of everything, so I just ruined her life.
What did you want to be as a kid?
The same thing everybody else wanted to be, a cop.
Cop.
I did. Cop and a veterinarian, but a veterinarian. But I wanted to be a police officer. And I did pursue that dream. And they just didn't want me. they just didn't want. I was denied to be a police officer, like by every single place, because I heard the exact same thing over and over again. And I'll be honest, this is kind of the reason why I joined the military, because trying to become a police officer, they told me I didn't have enough life experience.
Wow.
And the life experience they were saying was I was never in the military. One recruiter actually said, join the military and come back and then you'll get hired. And I'm be honest, I was like, all right. And I did that. And I just don't want to be a cop anymore.
Okay. All right.
Actually, today's day and age, that's why I don't.
Gotcha.
It's not the same. It is not the same out there. I mean, I have a family member that's a police officer, a sheriff in Los Angeles County, and I have friends who live here in Georgia that are police officers, and they are like, oh, it's not the same. Don't do it.
Okay. I'm not gonna speak on that either.
I know. I was.
Okay. If you had a superpower or a super ability, what would you choose and why?
I ask for this power every time I ask for anything. I want to be able to eat whatever I want without gaining any weight. Man,
that is a great one. That's
a lot of people want to do some other things, but I seriously just want to eat everything. And I avoid it just to stay in some kind of shape. Well, I would definitely love to eat everything.
Okay.
Can't put food in front of me.
All right, so last one, and we'll wrap up. What story does your family always tell about you?
I'll give you the better one because the other one's not. Story that they would always tell about me would be me playing football.
Mhm.
I used to play football, and actually my whole life I was playing football. So from like the midgets, tiny mites, all that,
Mhm.
high school and college. But I started out being a tight end and wide receiver. Then I went to quarterback. So they would always tell a story about this one game when I got hit so hard after throwing the ball that I didn't even know if we won, if any. I still to this day it's a blur. I don't even know.
Oh,
the only reason why I know we won is because I got the championship ball and everything. But I threw this ball to one of my closest friends, and it was like a Hail Mary. I launched it.
Mm-hmm.
I got hit so hard that I just laid there.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he caught the ball, made the touchdown, and to this day, they'll just be like, "So you sure you don't remember you throwing that ball?" And I'm like, "No," but they got pictures of me on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Hey, Jason, thank you, man, for being on the show.
No problem. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So tell the listeners out there in Savannah and worldwide, like where can they find you? How can they get in contact with you?
Come down here. Call. Get us on Facebook. We on Instagram. We even on Snapchat.
Just iRepair Savannah everywhere.
It is iRepair Savannah. Ours is, this specific store is iRepair Savannah at Richmond Hill. That's on Facebook. So it's iRepair Savannah at Richmond Hill. That's Facebook. That's Instagram. That's Snapchat. Phone number here is 912-445-5810. We are actually in Richmond Hill, Georgia. It's 13,000 Highway 144. And a lot of people coming down this road, they don't realize that it actually goes as far in Richmond Hill, but it does, and it is right next door to Publix. So even if you can't remember the address or the phone number, you can remember Richmond Hill and Publix, and we are next door. And I will tell you that as far as customer service, as far as quality, I do my best to be the best and to give you the best. So if you trust our reviews and our customers and, what I'm saying, at the very least, give us a try and see that we actually will do what I'm saying we'll do. And that's it.
Awesome. That's it. That is it. Thank you, Jason, for being on the show again. No I'm really excited to hear more about your nonprofit and being able to help you out with that whenever you get that launched. To everybody out there listening, thank you guys for joining us again this morning. I really hope you guys go out there and make some kind of impact. Do something that's going to help somebody close to you. Do something that's going to help yourself. And you're going to do great things. I believe in you. If you want to find us, you can hit us up on Facebook. We're everywhere at SBS WRUU, Savannah Business Showcase. WRUU is the station name. So check us out there. Check us out on WRUU.org, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud. All right, guys. Thank you. See you next week. Peace.